Alrighty, let's do this, folks. So we discussed two of the ways to have more money. Now let's do the third one. The third way to have more money in your business is to sell more while you're, whatever customer you've got. I don't care if it's a repeat customer or a brand new customer. If you sell that customer more, you will have more money, right? Presumably so anyway. So let's take a look at some of that. All right. Things to do to sell more. Let's assume for a moment that as a previous customer, do build on those past experiences. If you're taking notes and you keep your notes with your customer, whether you keep them on paper or whether you keep them in, a database, whatever, but take the time out to look at what you did last time. Try to remember the customer. Build on past encounters. If you're the kind of guy that can remember people's kids' names and what the kids were up to, I'm not strong at that, but my wife, okay, she'll remember what your kids were doing, what your dog was doing, and how did your gout turn out, and all that stuff. If you're that guy, it's worth something to you, okay? And but regardless, keep track of what went on before, and particularly if there was a problem, because you want to talk about, did you do anything about that last year, or did you think about, discuss that with you last year, and have you given that any more thought? Okay, you want to be able to have that conversation. All right, when you're at the house, and this might be more for first time at the house. Remember I said, talked about not beating the customer up right away with all kinds of things, and they gotta have it. The guy with that plenum I was talking about, that guy was jerking my chain, all right? That was terrible on his part. He should have picked something more believable, and I'd probably bit, because I'm really pretty easy to sell. I'm that guy, all right? But don't be afraid to present the whole list. If the customer's got 6 things they could use, sit down with the customer at the end when you're going to talk about this. And when I say sit down, I don't mean that in the general sort. I mean, don't be standing up when you talk. Say to the customer, could we sit down, please? If your clothes are dirty, that's a little problematic, but try to sit down, all right? It makes a difference. And kitchen tables are excellent. If you can sit down at a kitchen table, it's a way better place, because kitchen tables are totally the customer's turf, and it's a relaxing place, okay? So kitchen tables are kind of a safe place. Why not have the conversation where the customer is going to feel most comfortable, right? But present the whole list. You could do this, and this. And then you can talk about how, and of all of that, these 3 are nice to do, but to tell you the truth, they're not pressing on you. If somebody were coming to my house right now, I probably wouldn't do it. But these other 3 things, you need to be thinking about, that kind of an approach, right? But help them prioritize it. So present the whole list, break it down so that they know what's important in it, give them the options. We talked about that one time before, right? Some of the options don't include you, that's fine. You be on the customer side. When you're on the customer side, the customer is going to choose you to be on his side, all right? And that's going to work for you, all right? And then you remember that nincompoop that said, yeah, you ought to think about doing this one. All right. Well, it worked out for me a long time later, but you know what? It would have been better if I just said, you really ought to have a chimney cover up there. Would you like me to put one on? The people might have said no, or they might have said, why do I need a chimney cover? We've been having a conversation. All right, so ask for the sale. Customers are big boys and girls. They're all going to say no, or they're going to say yes. It's not a personal rejection. They have a lot of reasons why they need to say yes or no on whatever. Ask for the sale. You're much more likely to get it if you ask for it. Okay. Now, here's another thing. I worked closely with a company that used to call their proposals contracts. Well, they weren't contracts, but what they would do is have the salesman call their contracts, which meant call the proposal. So after a week, you can get on the phone and say, hi, Mrs. Johnson. This is Bob from, Morris's HVAC rather. And did you think any more about the proposal that I sent you, or did you have questions? Customer, it might have been an indecision, whatever the customer's thing is. The fact is, it was productive, and it's known to be productive. It's just a good thing to do, because there are a bunch of people that would kind of like to say yes, but they're vacillating and they don't want to spend the money and they got a knotted stomach. So really just having you calling them up and not pressuring them, just asking, can I answer any questions? Did you give it any more thought? They can say no, or they can say, yeah, I did have one question, yeah, let's do that. Okay. Make it possible for them to say yes. It was really quite an effective technique. And so there's one technique for you. And then to close with this, as always, and with lots of different aspects of the business, do a lot of listening. Okay? Make notes. When the customer sees you take notes, it builds confidence, and plus, those notes are very, very useful to you later. And that's why it builds confidence with the customer, because the customer knows that those notes are going to be useful to you later. And it suggests that you know what you're doing. When ask them lots of questions and give them very, very full, patient answers to their questions. And those things will shoot your sales up. I'll bet you 100%. If you're not doing those things, I'm just telling you, if you're not doing those things and you start doing those things, I think your sales will go up 100%. I think they will. Okay? That's what you got for now. Talk to you on the next one. Hey friends, I hope this was useful to you. Would you do something for me? Would you please share this with anybody you know that ought to hear it too? And then would you please give me the thumbs up and subscribe, right? That's kind of important on these things. Feel free to leave comments. All right, thanks a lot. And now get out there and do some winning.